Hello, everyone. Hope you're alright. Not sure if it's on. Yeah, I think we're on. So I'm not sure if anyone's watching yet, but I'll start with some questions I've got just real quick, just until someone's here. Hey, Angie. Hope you're good. Yeah, that's it. We're on. So I'll just quickly see what I've got on my phone, just what people sent me, and then hopefully you can all leave some questions as well. First question from Finn. Favorite person to ride with? I wouldn't really say I've got a favourite as such. There's quite a few riders that I like to ride with. But I'd say it's quite a lot. But I'd say anyone who kind of to look out for you a little bit and don't fill you in if you're behind. But yeah, I couldn't say one, but I'd say Max is pretty good. I'd say Bacho is actually quite fun to be in a team with. Jai is cool. Everyone really. I haven't really got anyone I don't like riding with. Um, we've got some questions here. Philip Mullard, how many questions today? Hopefully not too many, to be honest. How you coping with no Speedway? How you keeping busy? That's from Philip Mullard as well. To be honest, I wouldn't say I wasn't not coping. It's just just got to get on with it, and hopefully we can get back to racing as soon as possible. But for now, I wouldn't say. Obviously, I'm missing it, but it's just kind of it is what it is. But just trying to keep busy, just doing a little bit of work in the garage, and tidying a few things up, and just apart from that, just trying to keep fit, playing around on bikes and stuff. But yeah, sooner the better we can get back racing for me. Yeah, you're right, Philip. We got Mark Swindles. Second question about hair. If we can keep them down a bit, I'd be quite happy. Helen Brown, hope you're okay. Yeah, and you? So what do you think? A question here from Mark Sims. What do you think about the Polish league starting behind closed doors in June, July? Well, I have heard a little bit about that, but nothing for definite yet. But I think I don't see any reason why it couldn't happen. I've seen America they're talking about running the Supercross in May, so I think if there's a way to do it, I would be all for it, and I think most people would, as long as if no one's really getting in any danger by doing it. I think go for it. Got a comment here from Cameron Hydale. Good to see you. When will you be back in Mildura? And we miss you. And do you miss Australia? Yeah, I'd say it was cool. Not just the racing. I met quite a few cool people out there, and you're one of them. Your family, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know when I'll be back, to be honest, because the way it is at the minute, I've seen things about coming to Australia with travel and everything that it might be limited. But yeah, I would like to come back. Just have to wait and see how that happens. But yeah, definitely for sure. Here we go. We got Janet here. She loves the hair, so that's better than people asking when I'm gonna get a haircut. Thank you. Amy Lyon, who is your role model? I'm not really sure who I would say. There's a few people I would say. There's people I think you have a lot of respect for, and you would say they're your role model. But I've got quite a few people like that. That's also friends as well. So I don't know if you can class them, because they say like never meet your heroes and things. But I'd say a few of mine, for Speedway would probably be like Craig Cook and Rich Lawson, just because they lived real close to me, and then Simon Lawson as well. I would say is an inspiration to me. for work ethic and things. But I'd say as far as Speedway and like Never Meet Your Heroes and things, I'd say Darcy Water for Speedway, and then I'd say as far as a hero growing up, I would say as a motocross rider, it would be Ryan Villapoto. Daniel Atkins, what's your favourite track except Bellevue, and what track do you also find hard to race at? I'd say I've got in England. I would say Kings Lynn's pretty fun. I actually like Wolves. People say I hate it, but I actually do like it. It can be kind of hard to if you're behind someone, but I think it is good fun there. Right House was pretty cool. I don't really think there's any bad tracks, to be honest. Swindon can be a lot of fun. It's a little bit wavy at times, but it's good fun. So yeah, I think they're all pretty cool. As long as you're having a good day. If you're not really feeling it, they're all kind of not real good. But just depends how you're riding, I think. We've got a comment here. Jai Etheridge, get a haircut like mine. I'll have to have a look and see if I can manage it. Marcin, are you going to develop your YouTube channel? Would be great to see some more videos, some more movies from your workshop. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe now we're not racing, but it's difficult to can't really do too much to put on there anyway. But I did put a little bit of effort into it last year, but then I kind of felt like I should just focus on my racing more than anything and see how that goes. I think you can mess around with that stuff during the winter, but I feel like it'd be good to do a little bit, but I feel like I should focus on my racing probably now. Now kind of fit and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe a little bit, but I'd still try to make sure it doesn't distract from my racing, if that makes sense. Gavin Sedgman, good day from Merbean. That was me. That's who I stayed with in Australia, and we had some good times. Hopefully, if I go back, he'll be my landlord again. We'll see about that. Favourite UK track other than Bellevue? Yeah, as I said, I'd probably say Kings Lynn, thinking about it. But if I could put past tracks in, I would definitely say Work It, and that was probably one of the best tracks you'll ever ride, to be honest. Just coming in the third bend, it's a really long straight, and then, bank, and you can tip her in real good. It's something that, especially now, a lot of tracks are kind of round. I think Work It and track, you had to really, it really separated riders, I think, with kind of skill level. People talk about tracks not being technical. As a big track, I would say that took, a lot of, because coming in the third bend there wasn't easy if you came in on the dirt. So I think that's a good track. Tom Fletcher, have you got any comms yet? So not many people know what that is, but yeah, those who do, I've actually got two, I think. So striving for a few more, but yeah, have you? Let me know if you've got any, Tom. I'll give you a comment on one of my Strivas, and I'll give you a follow back. But yeah, always after them. Paul Atkinson is watching. Cool. What's your training routine? Physical, nutritional, and mental fitness. That's a secret. I've got my trainer now and my nutritionist. And you could argue it's mental. I'd say that was my dad, to be honest. He's the nutritional expert at the minute, so otherwise known as Cook. And as far as physical, I'd say just kind of do what I want, kind of thing. But got a few people to give me some guidance, but especially say through Team GB and stuff, they have some guidance there. But I'd say the most part, it's mainly if I feel like I've got an issue, I'd work on it. But currently, I feel like just doing what I'm doing is working all right. But I'd say it's more just say riding motocross, but it's more fun than anything. But I think that's a really good keep fit. What are you doing to tide yourself over till for Mark Rudkin? I think I've said that right. Do you mean tide yourself over financially or put the time in? Financially, not nothing really. Everyone's kind of at home, but maybe as someone said earlier, I'll put a few videos on the YouTube, but I don't get enough views to make any money. Never mind pay for my dinner. So yeah, and as far as keeping busy, just a few bike rides and stuff, and just having a tidy up, doing a little work around at home. But yeah, not a heap. Hopefully, we can kind of get back to it soon. Gene Murphy, who tunes your engines? Or I don't want to give any secrets away, but Steve Lawson services all my engines for Bellevue, and then in abroad and things, sometimes Steve, and then sometimes Mark Courtney or Finn Jensen. But yeah, I don't want to. Hopefully, don't steal my secrets, but don't tell anyone. Jamie Cox, would you consider living in Poland for 2020 if the Poles insist on it and get to ride for Wrocław this season? I think, as we don't really know what's going on, it's hard to answer that. But one of the things I've heard is you've seen about the British League getting going in September or even a little bit earlier, and then running October and even into November. I've seen so. If there was a possibility, I've seen that if the Polish season rode June, July, August, and it's not many meetings, it could even be finished, by then, and you could even one possibility would be to do that and then come back and do the English League. But at the minute, no one really knows what's going on. No one knows if the Polish League would start. But to be honest, I'd do anything if we could kind of get racing. So I wouldn't rule it out. Pauline Rawlins, I think it is. Have you ever tried Sand Speedway? Was very popular on the Southport Beach. Not on a 500, but when I first started on a 125, I had a little go on the beach. But I didn't really think. I think the bike I was on didn't quite have enough power, and the sand kind of took all the power from the engine. I couldn't really slide it real good, but I wouldn't mind giving it a go, especially say now. But the only problem is you got people who's always they're not really happy with you doing stuff like that. But now if you go on the beach and then especially as no tracks are open, go on the beach, tracks graded by the sea, and then that'd be perfect. But yeah, maybe hopefully I'd like to give it a go now while there's not much on thinking about it. But I haven't really thought about doing it before on a 500. How's the injuries now? Are you fully over them now, Philip John Mullard? I'd say as far as fully over them, I would say I'm better than. I don't really know because there's some things that will be with me for the rest of my life, like where they've cut me open and stuff. The muscle will never grow back there, but around where the muscle won't grow back, you can make that stronger. But I'd say all the injuries are good now. There's as far as the bone's concerned, especially my shoulder and my wrist, there's no issues there. And then with my leg, I'd like to get the pin took out. But at the minute, you don't have a clue what's going on. So, but hopefully I can get that took out, and then I would say I'd be pretty much 100%. I'd be completely over it once I get that took out. But for now, I get a little bit of pain in that, but it's not too bad. But yeah, I'd say as far as riding goes and everything, should be all good. It's just getting in the flow again. But as far as injuries are concerned, I'd say it's all good. Karen Sedgman. Hi Dan, Daniel Jack. Are you still needing a haircut from your Aussie mum? Yeah, with Gavin, it's his wife, and that's who I stayed with. Had a great time there. Actually put me up again. No, we're not quite on a haircut yet, but thank you. Gavin Ideal. We've seen Cam before, and now he's dead. Is your biggest regret in Australia not seeing Shantuzis live? Yeah, so the Shantuzis, you probably all know who they are, but they're a great band. But sadly, Gavin won the tickets to go and see them on the radio, and then we picked them up, but sadly we missed it. But I think we'll regret that for a long time. Joanne Harris, how's your TikTok doing? To be honest, TikTok isn't for me. I think it's just a little bit, it's a bit throwaway society. It's all just, you view it once and then it's gone. It's not really. Kind of prefer quality, to be honest. Whether that's YouTube or something, but yeah, I don't really think it's not my cup of tea. But it doesn't mean if you like it, you like it, but it's not for me. Jack Andrew Smith, Shake and Bake, yeah. It's a good film. If you don't know what that's off, you're missing out. But I'm sure you can all find. Denise Dunley, greetings from Cork, Southern Ireland. Your leg is fully fit, and maybe the hair could slow you down. From Cork. Do you live in England? Or do you watch Speedway? How do you view Speedway? But yeah, I've been to Ireland once or twice, and it's great there. Thanks for your things about my leg. Yeah, it's all good now. I feel good, so I think if the season gets going now, it shouldn't be any problem at all. I think last season I did come back a bit too early, but at the same time, I wouldn't change it. So yeah, thank you. Film Parks, when you enter in the GP challenge, need you in the GPs. Well, actually, I've done it the last 2 years. Well, not the GP challenge. The first, I think it goes. There's a qualifying round. From that, if you qualify, you go into the GP challenge, and then if you win, if top three in that, you're in the GPs. But the first time I done it, I think the first race, I went to the tapes with a black and yellow helmet colour. When he had to be yellow, I got excluded. Second race, I blew an engine up when I think I was second or something, and then I think I got a third, a second, and a win after that. So, if it didn't kind of mess up the first time, and then last year I'd done it as well. But I wasn't really riding too good, but at the same time I didn't feel too far off. I was kind of close, but starts weren't really there. But I was challenging and just couldn't quite get past a few riders. But as far as I felt like I was riding good enough to qualify, I just didn't put it all together. But yeah, I wasn't. I feel like I'd have a better shot if it was going this year. But yeah, I think that meeting's cancelled, so we'll see what happens. Dan Ashton, Jason Crump for me, legend. You could be that level in years to come. Yeah, who knows? To be honest, there's been a lot that's looked good, and then hasn't really happened. So I don't want to really stroke myself too much right now. But yeah, I'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't mind it though. Have you been able to, Ian Slater? Have you been able to skid on Steve's track? No, I haven't. It's just way too dry at the minute. It hasn't really rained since God knows when. So what's it been? Press and practice, I'd say, was the last time it rained. So it's just way too dry now. But if we could get probably a couple of days rain, maybe I could. But at the same time, there's quite a lot of people about. I don't really know how happy they would be with it. So you don't really want to get reported for either for me or for Steve. So Jan Sherwood, was it you or your dad? You and your dad I met at the Armoy road races a few years back. If so, would you fancy a go on the roads? I don't think it was me, to be honest. It could have been. I don't think it was. As far as road racing goes, yeah, I would fancy giving it a go. But as far as being any good at it, I think I might be a little bit behind the game there. They're all really good riders in the start at a young age, but might have missed the boat on that one. But as far as doing it for fun, yeah, I would definitely fancy giving it a go. Whether that's the kind of sit out the Isle of Man or whatever, how everyone can ride around the night before or whatever. But as far as professionally, I think I've already missed the boat on that one. But it's definitely a great sport to watch. Amy Lyon, what is the best track you have ever rode on? It's a difficult one because people would say Bellevue, but for me, kind of rode there a while, and it's kind of, it's still good. But as far as you've kind of it's like your favorite food if you have it all the time. It's not your favorite, but it's still good. But I'd say because I was only there for a short time, I'd say working just because I had some real good, just the riding there was you were on an edge kind of thing. But I think it was real fun. But and especially as it's gone, it's kind of I would put that up there as probably one of my favourites ever. Philip Mullard, what's your most memorable race you can remember? Personally, I loved your first Heat 15 win against KK. Yeah, I need a minute to think about that. Track record was pretty cool, especially because I knew I had it within the first half a lap. But and I kind of knew when I looked at the track 2 hours before the meeting, it was kind of I probably had it to be honest. So that was pretty cool, but that race was kind of sketchy. Like I would say it was scary to be honest. It was kind of on the edge of being a bit stupid, but yeah, I'd say that was the most memorable just because it doesn't happen very often. But as far as most memorable, that was pretty boring to watch, though, I would say for most people. But I'd say the British final in 2018 had some pretty cool rides. Every ride was from the back, pretty much. So just my heats in there as the full meeting, I would say, was my most memorable. Marion Dugan, just be yourself first, mate. Yeah, I'll try to. Not really sure what, whatever. And you? Sharon Stead, say hi to Gareth and Sharon in Sky. Hey, Gareth and Sharon, hope you're keeping good. Hopefully we can get back to racing soon and say hi in person. Joanne Norvey is watching. Cool. We're enjoying it. Helen Brown, similar to what I just said, but how did it feel to get the track record at Bellevue? Yeah, I'd say it was pretty cool, but to me it was probably one of the easiest races I've ever done. When I went to the tapes in that race, there wasn't really anyone else in it. I didn't even make the start, I don't think, but it was kind of just, it was kind of looking ahead, and I knew kind of this was the chance. It kind of hasn't. The only time I've really thought the track looks like that the whole time I've been there, so I kind of thought this is it, to be honest. And yeah, I was pretty happy when I got it. But it was funny, like over the finish, I knew I got it, but you don't know until you hear it over the tannoy. But and then the full riding around after the race, I kind of thought that's got to be it, surely. And then when I came in the pits, and then just came from the gate and was walking back, and I heard it on the thing, and that was pretty cool, to be honest. Hi Dan, Nick Hill here? Hi Dan, do you set yourself any targets and aims for each year? Not too much. I'd say last year I did, and it kind of not hurt me, but one of my targets was just to get through an injury-free season because it's kind of something I have nearly done, but I haven't. I've always had something just nagging on a little bit, but even last year gone, I did miss, like a week or two after me and Charles kind of got together at Peterborough, but I didn't really have any major injuries, and I was pretty happy about that. So that was one aim I had just to get through the year, and I've pretty much done that. So I was happy with that. And then the second aim was the qualifying round in Pardubice for the under-21s. My aim was to get that was meant to be my first meeting back, but I ended up riding, quite a bit earlier. But that was the aim to get through that meeting, but I ended up didn't qualify, and then I kind of, didn't really feel like carrying on after that. But yeah, that was not really. Graham Stokes, what's the toughest racer you have ever ridden against? Uh, it's a difficult one because kind of race against different people all the time, and you kind of forget kind of thing. But I feel like if you're in the GPs, you're against the same riders quite a bit. But I feel like league racing, you don't see your opposition too much, so you kind of it's hard to have like one rider that sticks out to you. But as far as the rider that would come to mind, and it wouldn't even be in racing, it was just in practice when I was at Ridden. It was Troy Batchelor. Just every time I went to the tapes with him in practice, I'd try everything. I just couldn't beat him, and it just kind of wound me up a bit. But it was kind of fun. But it was just whatever I tried, he just seemed to make a start on me, and I'd try everything to beat him. But it was like nine out of 10 times he would beat me, no matter what the track was like or anything. But it was funny because he would always make the start on me in practice, and then in meeting, it was a kind of, I wouldn't say it was different in meetings, but the odds were a little bit more in my favour than 9-1 to him. But we were teammates anyway, so. Scott Gerd. I don't know how to say your name, to be honest. Scott Girdwood. Grid. Yeah, I'm going to say Girdwood. Yeah, I remember you from Edinburgh. Favourite memory from Edinburgh? I would actually say I had quite a few racing. I'd say the first one was when I first won Heat 2, and then I think I won Heat 4 actually first, and then favourite meeting that sticks out was when me and Matt Clegg both top scored. That was pretty cool. But I'd say one thing that kind of sticks out was when I went up there before I'd even done a meeting. Craig Cook told me about there's a practice going on up there. It was actually their pressing practice, and I turned up just to do some laps, because I hadn't really rode any different tracks, and I ended up we'd done 4 laps on the stopwatch, and then it was between me and Ryan Blacklock, and Mitchell Davey was there also, but he had troubles with his visa, and it was whoever had the fastest time out of us ended up in with the team spot. So that was pretty cool, and yeah, that was one thing I'll kind of never forget. But that was pretty cool from Edinburgh. Bob Squirrels, I think that's right. Hey Dan, great to see you. Karen Sedgman, what's your favourite Australian track? Daniel Jack. I've only really rode 3. Curry is definitely not the favourite, but it could be a really cool track, I think. Just wasn't on the day I was there. Gilman's pretty cool. It gets a real nice dirt line, and it is real sketchy. It's cool. I like it, but it's kind of not got much of a straight, but it's still good fun. But I'd say from the tracks I've rode, Mildura is definitely the favourite, and it's up there as one of my all-time favourite tracks, to be honest, because you can race around there, but it's good you can get it round the line real tight, or you can kind of make a big circle, and I feel like it's a real cool track. And depending if you didn't have, say, with the space they've got, or say somewhere like Wolverhampton, it's kind of a similar size, I would say, track, but I'd say it's a hell of a track for that size, and it's a great track, I would say, to base a track off if you're building one. I don't know how to say your name. Macaulay. McClellan Marialis, maybe. Hey, Dan, how are you and your family? And okay, and did you see Glasgow Tigers in the Red film? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen a bit of it, but not all of it. I watched the first 10 minutes when it came out, and then I thought, oh, I'm not going to watch it now. I'll watch it. I'll watch it tonight, but I haven't actually got around to watching it yet. So yeah, as soon as I have to give that a watch. But the first 10 minutes was interesting. So good work to them, and it's good to see. It's some good content you could watch again by the looks of it. So I haven't seen it all yet, but props to them. Johnny Lugwin, I think that's how I say it. What's the plan with the hairdo? No plan. Yeah, that's it. But copy me if you want. Bob Squirrels, I met you at Mildura. Yeah, pretty cool. What meeting? Did I go any good? Michael Patty, sub from Mildura. And he's left me a sign like this, so sub. Hope you're favourite track in the championship? Current tracks, what we got? Pool's not bad, I suppose that's a championship track now, but I wouldn't say it's my favourite. Glasgow new track isn't bad, and I didn't like the old track, but the new track's not. The new track's all right. I think I had the track record for 1 week, so I'd say that was pretty good. Leicester's pretty cool. I like Leicester, and then Edinburgh, I'd say that's pretty cool as well. I'd say Edinburgh, to be honest. Cam Hydale again. I noticed you have a game simulator behind you. Are you as good as uh, are you as good as you are? Oh, are you as good on that as you are on the bike? No, I'm not really good, to be honest. I've got one game, Project Cars 2, I think it is, but I can only race go-karts. Apart from that, I can't really drive anything else. I keep crashing, but in the go-karts, I'm pretty good. So anyone wants a race, let me know. I haven't really been on it too much, to be honest, but I'm good in the go-kart. Anne Rugman again. Who is your engine tuner this year? Uh, Steve Horton. And then, yeah, so if you want SL Race Engines, he's your man. Yeah, but kind of like it if none of the competition go there. But then again, you can. They're all the same. They're all 500s. Caroline Dickens. Good morning, Dan. I think it's good afternoon now, but hey. Lewis Williams. Hey, Dan. Hope you're well. I'm itching to get back watching you, lad. Cheers. Hopefully we can all get back racing soon. Hopefully all sport back going soon, to be honest. Christopher Black, I'm still raging with you for burgering off to Glasgow. You broke out. Hey, I was just a kid that I didn't really, I had one good meeting there, and it seemed like the right thing to do. And to be honest, when I went to Glasgow, if I kind of knew a little bit more about Speedway, I probably would have went to work it. And to be honest, no offense to Glasgow, but at the time I went to Glasgow to go there, for say Steve was 15 year, and that's kind of how I looked at it. To be honest, I didn't really, as a kid, I didn't really know much about Speedway, and I kind of looked at when I signed for Glasgow, that was a team I was going to stay there, but it's not really how it worked out. And then, if I knew I wasn't going to ride championship for 15 year, I would have went to work it in sooner. No offense to Glasgow, but it would have been nice to do longer at work it, and with that being my home club and stuff. But yeah, I had a great time at Edinburgh, and I also had a great time at Glasgow. There's great people at both of them clubs, but still go to what's it called? The challenge meeting in Edinburgh, Scottish Open. I think that's the one. So hopefully, if that I hope that runs this year, and I'd like to do that again. So yeah, that's a cool meeting. Oh, and one thing about Edinburgh, I did notice that at Cardiff GP last year, I probably had more people from Edinburgh come up to me than from anywhere else. So that was pretty cool. Uh, Michael Patty, ever thought of coming over to New Zealand to race? Yeah, that's one of the. I'd say before I really got into Speedway, I watched. I'm sure it was Palm Springs or something like that. I think that's right. And there was a few races, but the one with Darcy and Emil. But I watched the full meeting. I'm sure there's a cool race with Kasperzak as well, but I'm not sure. But I'd say that is the best track I've probably ever seen. To be honest, that was apparently it's too big to have a GP there now. But yeah, that looked awesome. I'd like to ride there at some point, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Angie Day, what food are you most looking forward to after the lockdown? Shout out to Millie, who would do anything for a McDonald's right now. To be honest, I wouldn't really say anything. To be honest, I feel like one thing I'd say I like about Speedway the most is when you kind of travel and you can pick up some different foods. But I'd say a favourite food, the one thing I was looking forward to, hopefully we can get back racing and traveling around and everything, was there's a restaurant in some airports, well, probably everywhere, but Leon, I think it's called, and they do a bacon and cheese sandwich or avocado and cheese like burger kind of thing. Oh, it's in a donut and no, a bagel, sorry, and that is the best thing I've ever tasted. So that for sure. Uh, Gene Murphy, do you find a massive difference between riding in Poland and riding in the UK, crowd wise, track wise, and the fans? Crowd wise, start crowd wise. I'd say the crowds, as much as people say England's all, it's an older kind of thing. I'd say it's a lot more mixed than people say it is. I think that's kind of people kind of say, oh, like they make out as though everyone at Speedway is over 80, but realistically, I think, I see a lot more variety, but it's not saying it's great to have all people there, to be honest. But I'd say in Poland, it's kind of there is a lot more people. There seems to be more people aged from say 20 to 50 than I'd say mid 30s is the most the most common age for people there, to be honest. Whereas in England, you'd probably say closer, say maybe 60s, 70s, like in that kind of area. So I'd say Poland mid 30s, and then I'd say England 60s kind of thing. And then track wise, they look a little slicker, but it's kind of different. The shale's completely different there, and it reacts different to how it goes in England. Like in England, there's normally, if there's a dirt line, it's normally like a big thick clay kind of a real berm. Whereas in Poland, everything kind of looks a little bit different, and it doesn't take a lot of dirt to kind of take the power out of the engine. So I'd say that with the tracks is a little bit different, and then as a rule, you'd say the tracks are a little bit different shape, and then fans, I think you maybe be, I'm not sure what I mean because you said crowd, but I'd say it's sometimes a little bit louder. I think they're more kind of cool. It's more like they embrace the air horns and they're throwing the till receipts and stuff over the track with the big paper things. That's pretty cool. But I think they're all for like the air horns and anything that makes a noise. So I think if you've got one of them, they're pretty cool. But if you don't have one of them, they are quite annoying, but yeah, I think they're pretty cool. But I'm pretty young, so probably not for everyone. But yeah, they're pretty cool to me. But I'd say it depends on a good race, you know. After a good race, they're all pretty loud. So Neil Young, is there an inspiration behind your 99 race number? A little bit. Stefan Everts. Not sure if you all know him. Uh, he's 10 times world champion. He was born in 1972, and he was always race number 72. And then Ken Roxon, I'm 95% sure he was born in 94, and he's number 94. So, you know, and he was pretty handy. He's still pretty handy too. So, you know, just carrying on with that kind of rule, and you know, I think it looks kind of cool number. So that's about it. That's kind of the inspiration behind it. Plus, you can all know my age now just by my number. Hi from Sharon and Gareth in Sky. Hey, go Ginge, Prestige, Edging, Shootout, Shout out. Well, if you all want some concrete edging around your garden or driveway or anything for that matter, especially if you're in the Mildura Rimple area, Nichols Point, either message me or message Gavin Idale, and he'll sort your garden out for sure. He also sponsors the Speedway, so support those who support the sport. That's the Speedway in Mildura. Uh, more. Oh shit! Sorry. Keith Ingham, how are you keeping your reflexes in trim? Uh, Not really sure, to be honest. Probably should work on them a little bit. Yeah, maybe I'm going to work on. My starts aren't real good. Andrew Jeffrey. Mo Johnson, you also broke my heart moving to the enemy. Not many people know what that means, but what it means is I ain't really. I'm pretty sure he was a football player. He either went from Celtic to Rangers or Rangers to Celtic, but I'm sure that's the story. I'm sorry to break your heart. You know, my heart lies in one of those clubs, and you know, I don't want to say which. Might make a few enemies. No, but to be honest, I like both clubs, so you're all good. Roger Hawksworth, will you come back to Curry Curry when you come back to us? It might not be so hot. Yeah, the heat wasn't the issue there, to be honest. But yeah, I would like to come back. I feel like I don't know what it was, but I feel like if there was the track could be awesome there. But yeah, if I came back, yeah, I would like to come back, but I hope the track was just a little bit better than it was the last time. But it was pretty hot too. Tom Highnet, maybe you can lend me a hairnet when you're getting the week cut. Don't know. Scott Hanna, hi. What's been your favourite computer game during this lockdown? To be honest, I don't really play computer games. Like you might see that steering wheel behind me there. I've got an Xbox and stuff, but I went on that once just before the start of the season, and then that's about it. I played Reflex, which is a motocross game, once, and then I kind of put it down. To be honest, I'm not all that into it. So you know, they are pretty cool, but I don't really play them too much. Uh, Love your gaming setup in the background. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a gamer, but yeah, I do have a steering wheel. It's pretty cool. But I got that when I was injured. To be honest, it kind of give me something to do during the day. So it is pretty good fun, but kind of rather be outside. Andrew Jeffrey, your route to order. Christopher, I heard you rejected Edinburgh again last year. Is that true? I suppose it could be. I rejected every championship club, to be honest. Well, I didn't really. At the end of the season at Workington, before the season was even, before I got injured, I think most people kind of, at Workington at least, knew that was I wasn't planning on doing championship again the year after. And then at the end of the season at Workington, I think I said that if I was going to ride championship anywhere, it'd be at Workington. Yeah, but I said at the minute, I don't think it looks like I'm going to be doing it, especially coming back from injury. I didn't want to have. It wasn't really possible to do it anymore, but I didn't really want to be riding, have meetings 8 days a week when there's only 7. That's how it was kind of looking. So I wanted a lighter schedule, but it was actually impossible to fit it all in. So I said I wasn't going to do it for anyone. Lewis Riddle, best moment Glasgow. Yeah, I'd say it was when I got my first and only championship maximum. I nearly got one at Workington and I dropped 1 point in my first race, but I'd say, yeah, because I got 1 point the week before, I think, at Glasgow, and then it was against Edinburgh, and then I got 14 plus 1 or something like that, so that was pretty cool. And I think I won 8:15 as well, maybe. That was for sure the best, and probably as a home rider, one of the few good moments, to be honest. Neville Kappa, maybe you could learn Polish and Swedish. To be honest, that is something I really need to do. When I'm driving and stuff, I do try to learn. I've tried to learn some Polish, but I feel like the best way for me is kind of when I'm there, with the people around me to try and learn a few words. But yeah, I'm not doing really good on that, but definitely something I should improve. Christopher Black leaving. Not sure if he's leaving the line or what, but see ya. I think he's talking about Edinburgh. Joanne Lyon, how do you feel about being track record holder? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Especially when you get to a meeting, to me, it's kind of look in the program to see who's got it. I see what it is to aim for. So yeah, that's kind of cool. McLennan Martalis. How is Steve Lawson and Steve Lawson and family doing? Yeah, doing good. I think. I think they're all kind of staying at home. I think the shop's kind of shut now and just kind of doing what everyone else is doing. Chris Bordell, do you think advances in bike technology and speed are helping the sport? See, this is one thing that I don't really have the same opinion as a lot of riders, because I think when you look at it, the bikes haven't really changed. As far as the engines, when people say like these days, these bikes and stuff, the engines are pretty much the same as they've been for the last 6 years. And they have been the same longer than that, but as far as nothing's really actually changed, maybe the sounds have changed and a couple of things have changed a tiny bit, but nothing's really any different. You look at track records that have been there for years, and I don't really feel like I feel like when people say about the engines are so fickle, well, it's like I think there's too much Speedway's full of sheep. I think. Say Doyley was world champion on Fleming, but he was the fastest rider in the world for 2 years. So what did you see? You've seen every rider buying Fleming engines. Say now at the minute there's a saying that you've got to be light to be fast, and then but it's not. It's just whatever's fashion at the minute. I feel like everyone jumps on that, but yeah, I don't really feel like engines are as big a part as what people. I feel like if you're on it, you can ride anything. Joanne North, do you prefer to win from the gate or from the back? Oh, from the back for sure. But I don't win many races from the front, so wouldn't mind just improving the odds. Give myself a bit of a chance. But as far as bike advances, I don't really. I feel like one thing that would actually improve the sport would put the weight limit up 1 kilo. Just because if you put it from 77 to 78, you would get rid of the need for any titanium or any carbon fiber, which would save riders like over $1,000. But I don't have any of them either. So anyway, so. Jerome Giroux, I remember you from Macon in France. I know you said you're from France, but I do remember you from that meeting. And I'm sure you came to Bellevue as well. Or Glasgow, was it? But hard track to ride, I would say, in England. Lakeside was a lot, but I didn't really have a proper shot around there, but that was a lot of fun. I only went there once or twice, but that was pretty cool. I'd say that was up there as the hardest, just because it's so different. Chris Stables, alright, Mara. How did the debate over adding weight to the bike to make equal pan out? Yeah, I feel like one thing, it ain't equal. Like, I feel like one way to look at it, if we were on push bike, if we were on BMXs, say for example, I weigh 60 kilo and someone weighs 70 kilo, we could do all the same stuff on a BMX, but if we're in a BMX competition, to make it fair, we'll add 10 kilos to my BMX. So now we're at equal combined weight. Well, now I don't know about you, but if you've ever rode a push bike that's a hell of a lot heavier, I will not be able to do anywhere near the same stuff. So I feel like it's not natural, and I feel like to make something equal by not making something equal doesn't really sound right. But I feel like it's good out as a freedom, and you kind of, if you want to be light, you can be light. If you want to be heavy, you can be heavy. If you want to be in the middle, you can do whatever you want. I don't really think we should change that. Ian Billingham, impressive amount of tech in your room, Dan. Stop you getting bored. To be honest, I don't use any of it. I don't use any of that. The only thing, I go on my phone, go on my laptop, but I'd rather be outside, to be honest. How many GPs have you been to as a spectator? Craig Smee. Cardiff twice, I'm pretty sure that's it. I would like to go to some more. Christopher Black, how good is Verena around Ribnick? Yeah, he does go good. But I'd say Batchko's good as well. But I'd say he's pretty dialed in around there. But he kind of went good everywhere in the first league last year. He had a pretty solid year. Which rider do you look up to? I'd say current riders. I like Doyley's kind of work ethic, and he's kind of a charger. I kind of like that. Do you mind wiping out Rob Shuttleworth at the practice? Krista? I think I passed him. I dive bombed him or something. That was when I had to win the Edinburgh team spot. He was there also. Christopher Black bringing that memory up, and yeah, I do remember that. First time I ever passed anyone, and I cleaned him out. But I did apologise. He said it wasn't my fault. So, Gene Murray, have you ridden much in Sweden? I've done a few meetings. One at Kumla. I went pretty good. I went all right there. I rode pretty good. I thought. Didn't score too many points. And then I've done a couple home meetings for Alstavik, and then I was meant to ride there this year, but that didn't work out. Well, at the minute it hasn't happened, but hopefully that can still happen. Richard Cotton, I think he's a familiar face. You like Leicester? I take it you've never spectated there. To be honest, if you watch some of my races at Leicester, I would say you would have enjoyed the meeting. I guess did Kings in there once, and never made a single start and scored 12 points. So I would say that would have been pretty interesting to watch. So yeah, and you can actually see everything watching there. So I feel like if you've got riders that can't make starts but are gonna put some effort in, I feel like you can see some real good races there. Matt Hydale. So we've had Cam, we've had Gaz, and then now we've got Matt. All legends. Who is your rider in Speedway? Who do you look up to? So I'd say a favourite rider would be, because that's the rider I've seen the most races of before I started, Darcy Ward. And then I think as someone to kind of want to, kind of draw yourself up as, if you were going to design, write how you want it, I'd say Doyley would be up there. Minus a few crashes. But I think work ethic and the way you ride, all that kind of stuff. Jackson Andrew Smith, another familiar face. Monster Trucks or Arena Cross. There's a funny story behind that, but Monster Trucks are actually pretty cool if you ever get the chance to go and see them. I actually enjoyed it better than the Arena Cross, but yeah, I'd still like to see some proper Supercross, but Monster Trucks, they are pretty cool. Track you've ever rode, Shane Stewardson, working, he's actually from Maryport, I would say working. Michael John Malone, when you had your crash and suffered horrific injury, we can see you were in great physical shape. How you got over the mental block? Did it affect early on? Yeah, I'd say it did affect me early on, but it's great to know you think I'm in great physical shape. I'll take that. But yeah, I'd say I'd say the whole season, but definitely the first month or two or three, I kind of wasn't the rider I was. I feel like I ride better now, but I still haven't, quite had the touch I have. But trying everything to get back there, and I feel like I then now. Alan Atherton, have you ordered bone pies yet? No, I haven't. I don't eat pies. No, but if Paul Bell wants to send me some, I'll be keen. Maybe I'll help him out. Support those who support the sport. Angie Day, do I see myself becoming one of the all-time greats at Bellevue? It's too early to say that, but yeah, it'd be alright. Right, I haven't got long left and find some. Might miss a few questions out, but we're on a limited time here. I don't want to use Bellevue's data up. Expensive making this for them, I think so. Neville Copper, do you take interest in Speedway history? And if so, who do you admire? So I'd say I do actually say talk, and not really, I wouldn't say take interest, but I do talk a lot about it, say with Mark Courtney and Steve Austin and stuff, and about old riders and about racing back in the day. It's cool to hear about that kind of stuff. But I think just from pictures I've seen some pretty cool pictures of Bobby Ott and Kelly Moran, I think it is. They had some pretty cool style. So and Wiggy's kind of stuff. But Bobby Ott, just the pictures I've seen, he looked pretty cool. So I like to look at the old stuff. Craig Smee, if you're a GP rider, following Doyle's work ethic and try riding all leagues, or do I think riding more keeps you sharper, or can it fatigue with travelling? It could cause fatigue from travelling, but until you're there, I wouldn't fully know what to comment. But I see no harm in it. Doyley was the best rider in the world for 2 years doing it, so I think riding every day seemed, especially now we're not doing it, for sure I'd rather be riding every day than sitting around. Matt Ideal again, do you like gin and tonic? I definitely don't like gin, it's not for me. But yeah, we're approaching the end now, but Brady Kurtz, how was the gap year? Gap year, that came about last year for me. It was a gap year, just like university students and all that do. The results didn't matter. I was on a gap year, so that was when it wasn't going so good. That was the approach I took. So, and it actually went better then. So, might keep the gap year going, but for now, the gap year over, and yeah, back to work. Yeah, that's the end of it. I think 12 now, but thank you all for joining me. Been good fun. Hopefully we can get back to racing and see you all soon. But for now, that's the end of my time slot. So I'll catch you later. But thank you all for joining me. Oh, one last question I've seen from Ben Hewitt. I've got to answer this. Tomac or Roxon? For me, Tomac all day. But Tomac wasn't there, I'd be a Roxon fan. But Tomac all day, hands down. Right, just got to figure out how to end this. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. It's been great having this little catch up, and see you at the start of the season, hopefully, whenever that is. See ya.